Hey, it's Madison Chase. It's yes or no. It's your entertainment source or news option. And I'm Madison Chase and all the way in Wiggity Wick, Wisconsin. Is my girl Stefztv. Say hey to the people.
Oh yeah, what's up? How you doing? I love my Wiggity Wick, girl. That does not get old. I love it. Thank you so much. It's good to see you, Madison. I am Stefztv.
And you know what I like, Stefztv?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so today we're talking about Colin Kaepernick on the cover of Time Magazine. I equate him to like one of the greatest athletes of our times, similar to Muhammad Ali. So, Steph, you have the story. Take it away.
All right, well, before we go any further, I feel like he's a great athlete because what he's doing, his skills, he's riding the bench. But with that said, sometimes it is more important of what he is doing than how he is playing. So I'm going to give you that.
Absolutely. I totally agree. But go ahead.
Okay, so apparently the cover of Time Magazine that was due to hit newsstands yesterday, and I tried to get a copy of this for this morning, but I did not find it yesterday. So I'm going to try and get a copy of this today. But Colin Kaepernick is on the cover of Time Magazine. Now, I know we probably could, this whole kneeling during the national anthem, I feel as if we thought, like in my head, I would have thought that I'd see this on Sports Illustrated or places, but for some reason I never thought Time Magazine, but I've got the explanation and the article why Time Magazine picked him, and this is what it says. Time Magazine says Colin Kaepernick is on the cover of their magazine because the movement he sparked has gotten so huge and spread so far, he was the obvious choice. TMZ Sports asked Time why it taped Cap for the latest cover, and a spokesperson told us the goal was, quote, exploring, quote, the nationwide debate happening around national anthem protests. The spokesperson added the fact that his protest has now become so widespread, quote, from the rest of the NFL to high schools and colleges across the country, end quote, meant this was just the right time for a cover story. Translation, he's going to be gold for sales numbers, which I don't think it really means that. But the issue, which hits newsstands Friday, features a photograph of Kaepernick taking a knee. It's a shot from one of his previous on-field protests, not a photo shoot, which is also not exactly the norm. Usually they do a photo shoot, I believe, for the covers. But yeah, I don't think Time Magazine did this to sell covers. I think Time Magazine did this for the right reasons, and I'm going to live in they did this for the right reasons. That, like you said, Colin Kaepernick, I'm not going to give him the greatest athlete. He's riding the bench. But what he's doing is up there with what great athletes have done in the past and taken their platform to create a movement. And he is succeeding in doing that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm comparing not necessarily his skills as an athlete, the fact that he's riding the bench. I could care less because guess what? I was not a Colin Kaepernick fan before he started kneeling. Like, I'm not a fan of football, or I'm not a fan of anyone unless they're taking a stance and using their platform for the greater good and to benefit someone more than just themselves. So here's a story that Stephen Colbert mentioned in reference to Colin Kaepernick kneeling. Late show host Stephen Colbert on Thursday night pointed out that Black Lives Matter activists just can't win over some people. On one hand, you have the first two nights of protests in Charlotte, North Carolina, in reaction to the police shooting of Keith Lamont Scott. Some, but not all of the protests turned violent, leading critics on social media to characterize all the protesters as people senselessly destroying their own communities. I sure wish there was some sort of respectful, silent, civil protest that people could engage in that wouldn't enrage the other side, Colbert said. Then an image of San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick flashed on the screen. Yeah, no, that's not going to work either, Colbert quipped. By taking a knee during the national anthem during football games, Kaepernick has drawn tremendous criticism and anger online, becoming the most hated football player in the league, according to a poll by ePolling Marketing Research. I wonder who hates him. Many people, such as conservative pundit Tommy Lauren, have characterized Kaepernick as unpatriotic, telling him to leave. I wonder if he's saying go back to Africa, maybe. if America discussed you so much. This puts Black Lives Matter's protest in a bind. If some people and their protesters get violent, they're all criticized as violent. If they take up more peaceful protests, they're all criticized for hating America. Or for, as DT running mate MP put it, far too much talk about institutional bias and racism within law enforcement. But as Colbert said, chances are these protests will keep happening as long as America doesn't take their cause seriously. The shooting of African Americans by police officers and the resulting community outrage seems to keep happening over and over and over and over again, no matter how many times we do nothing. Bam, there you have it. So
girl, I got a quick question for you. I know this is we didn't say we were gonna discuss this, but I got a quick question for you. I feel like I want to know if you agree with me. I feel like all these people that are getting so angry that he's taking a knee, it almost seems as if it's like they're so angry as if he's turning around and pulling his pants down and mooning the flag when the national anthem is being played. He's taking a knee. He's still silent. He's still looking at the flag. He is taking a knee to create a place to start a conversation. Why is taking a knee so disrespectful? Like, am I ignorant in that? Like, I feel like
I agree, Steph. It's almost like when people they're equating his action to someone that's actually burning the flag. And
that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not. I get the first time, and this is the reason why I actually give Kaepernick I give him respect overall for what he's doing, whether or not I agree with it, the fact that he's doing something and he's speaking his truth, respect. Now with that, the first time he sat on the bench, and I feel like sitting on the bench being laid back, I'm not paying attention, I could see how that might spark a conversation. Now that's kind of just you're not even aware it's going on. But while everyone else is standing, kneeling down, just kneeling down. Still, it's not like he's on his cell phone while it's playing. It's not like he's doing other stuff, which I'm sure thousands of people in the stands are on their cell phone or are talking or are not looking at the flag. He's taking a knee so he can create a conversation.
Yeah,
I don't see anything wrong with that.
That I think the people who are probably outraged, they're not looking at the bigger picture. And I think Stephen Colbert's story actually just says it all. Like, you can't win some people over. And here's the thing, history is repeating itself. You had some people who were mad that slavery was abolished, and because they felt like, based on the Bible and Christianity, that slaves were supposed to obey their masters. So it's kind of like in this situation, you can't win. But again, if we continue to do nothing, nothing will happen. Nothing will change. So I think his story is so on point, and I'm glad that he said it, and I agree with him. So I'm Madison Chase, and what are your thoughts on Colin Kaepernick being on the cover of Time Magazine? You can find me on YouTube at @OneMadChase, on Twitter, Madison Chase Fit, and Instagram, Madison Chase Fitness. Steph, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter. I am Stefztv. That's IAMSTEFZ. I'd love to hear from you.